Good evening everyone, welcome back to FTRL. You joined us for week 2 of GT1 this week, live from everybody's favourite track. In fact, I think it is most people's favourite track, just not mine, Croix B. So tonight we've got our first endurance race of the season. So we've got no qualifying, which is why we started the stream a little bit early, just to get the intros in. Plenty of people coming in already. Good evening, Faber, Lennon, Max, Derek, Jonesy, all the usual crowd. 42 laps this evening, straight off, reverse qualifying grid. Good evening, Superfans, good to have you here, mate. It's a reverse championship order for the starting grid, and the tyre rules are, I believe, soft, medium and hard tyres for a minimum of 5 laps each. I did not watch the equivalent GT2 stream last night. If you may be able to tell from my voice, I was up all night shouting at shit politicians on the TV, so bear with me if it gets a little bit croaky. But that's all said and done now. We can get back to what we usually shout at people for, which is being a bit shit at driving. So as it's a reverse championship grid, let's have a quick look and see where everybody is in the standings from week 1. It's really close. If you don't remember week 1 last week, the results from the sprints were a little bit all over the place. A couple of people doing really well in a couple of the races and then dropping off. Other people being a lot more consistent and just picking up good points each race. Max says, can I get a hoo-yeah for the cats? No, my voice is fucked, Max, I can't do that tonight. Pagani's top, 38 points, so that's after a first and a second place in the first 2 races last week, but only a point behind are Panda and T. Smith on 37, and Lennon not too far off either. So those are the guys that are going to be starting at the back. Looks like we'll be starting very shortly. Following on from them will be Blue Flag, there he is. Biggles, Graham, Ross, Unsafe Release, Tom Duval, Ron, Jadon, Aaron, Homer and Lee at the back. So that will mean Lee will be starting on pole this evening. So we'll see how he gets on. Didn't have the best week last week, as evidenced by his starting position. I think he'll go a bit better this time out though. I think. Let's see. Alright, here we go. 42 laps on the board. We're going to have a rolling start. So we head down towards the line for the first time. The lights are out and away we go. Lee leads us off, followed by Homer, Aaron and James making up the top 4. And already, there's already a bit of a challenge here. As Jadon and Aaron going around turn 1 side by side, just about held it there. Aaron's holding P3. In the background, Tom Device challenging Ron for 5th. Everybody looks to have got around fairly safely and securely though, around the first few corners. A bit further back, Biggles and Blue Flag. Blue Flag slipped back a little bit from his starting position, I think. Pagani still at the back with Tom and Will. As we come down towards this twisting section, it's really difficult to get right, or not only to get right, but to get it stopped for this right-hander to make sure you don't run wide. There's a little bit of potential contact there. Everybody looks to have got through okay though. And Lee still leads us down to over the bridge and to the left-hander Bit of a wiggle on the exit there from Lee, but he's absolutely okay, just wiggling the back of the only man's car at Homer. Hello, Fat Zane. Good evening. And away we go. Down the long back straight, plenty of opportunity for slipstream here. Everybody, Homer's still sticking within range, Aaron's just dropped out of it. But they're all reasonably well spaced out up front there. The same can't be said of them further back. Graham under a lot of pressure from Blue Flag, who's recovered. He seems to be okay. There's a bit of a shake there from the Renault with Rom driving. He's now under pressure from Lennon. Lennon trying to sweep all the way around the outside. He looks to be okay. Oh, we've not only got Fat Dane, we've got Thicker Dane as well. Good evening. Oh, this is looking very spicy coming around here to the end of lap one. Lennon holds the inside. Fever's calling Aaron to spin at least once. Well, at the minute, he's P3. These three don't really have to do anything different. In fact, the top four are all on the soft tyres to start, which would explain why they're getting away. I think we're on 4 times tyre wear, 4 times fuel. So I think fuel will be the limiting factor rather than tyres. As you can see, 1 lap down. Most people will probably get 8 laps out of the tank. Maybe not Aaron. He might get a few less. Meanwhile, this battle continues towards the back. Lennon, Tom, Pagani, Rom, who's slipped back. And then Biggles is now in 15th. So last week we didn't see Tom take any victories, but he did consistently make his way up the order after... Oh, hello, he's in the wall. Outbraking himself into that left-hander. That's going to drop him all the way down past Pagani. In fact, he might just be able to hold on. Well, little unusual to see Tom missing his braking point. He may well have been affected by his activities earlier in the day. I have it on good authority that today he tried to bite a battery to see if he could make a mark in it with his teeth, but he just ended up hurting his teeth. We'll see if that affects him. Looks for a dive down the inside of Rom. He's gone for it. Rom's going to switch back up the inside though. Saw it coming, Rom. Dealt with that pretty nicely. All of these guys started on the hard tyres, just see struggling for grip a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, Fever. I really don't know. We'll call him Tom AA Muncher Smith from now on. Fastest lap of the race so far comes from Aaron, who's made his way meanwhile into P2 ahead of Homer. So these guys have dropped Jade on a little bit. They don't really need to fight. They don't really want to be fighting at this stage. They need to focus on using the soft tyres to get away. Real clash going on here. Tom Devell was holding P5, but Ross on the softer tyres on the mediums versus Tom on the hards. He's managed to get past him. He'll be looking to get away now. Gets it stopped nicely, clips the apex, accelerates out. Oh, Tom was very, very close to the wall there. Yeah, I think if Ross can at least maintain that gap, or close to maintain that gap, that's currently 6.5 seconds to Homer ahead of him. If he can stay within touching distance of the guys on the softer tyre compound, then I think you can call that a successful first stint. But there'll be plenty of soft tyre runs to come, because the fuel as it is, we're probably going to see... yeah, I'd say you're most likely to see 8 to 9 lap stints on the softs for a few stints, and then 1 stint on the mediums, 1 on the hards. Unless the hard tyres cost you so much time that you want to pit early and go for an extra stop, but I think that would be Not sure how advisable that will be. Jadon is 3/4 of a second purple through that sector, but everybody else staying with him. He has made his way up into P2 at the expense of Aaron and Homer. So there's either been a little bit of an incident there, or James has just absolutely flown this lap. Lee has got a 1.1 second gap, so I think it's more... yeah, more the case that the other two, Aaron and Homer, had a bit of a coming together. Fastest lap does go to James, however, 2:08.0. Half second quicker than anyone else around him, so beginning to get the hammer down, but it is at the expense of his tyres. I think this is where we're really going to see in these endurance races how the different cars work on the tyres differently, how they consume fuel differently. Aaron's not the most reliable bellwether of that, because he eats fuel and tyres anyway, but looking, for example, at James, that left rear is nearly half warm. We're only just started lap 4. Whereas for Lee in the Jaguar, sorry, the front tyres are the ones taking a bit more of a hammering. So the front 4 are changing positions fairly regularly. Lee has got a bit of a gap, well, that's down below a second again now, so James will be looking to see if he can get in the slipstream for the straight. He's stuck nice and tight to the inside there and got a good exit. Oh, Lee's hit the wall. Lee's in the wall, and James is going to go past and take P1 here, and Lee will have to wait and see if he loses any more positions. We'll go on board with Aaron. Lee's ducked back into the slip. I think he might just be okay. Aaron may look for a move down the inside here, though. He does indeed. Looking to go later on the brakes. Oh, and he's thrown it up the inside of James as well. Well, it was a late move. I'm not sure they intended to make the move on James, but he's made it. Aaron is into first place. Lee and James looking to fight back, though. It's these three. Homer a little further back. That Subaru is flying along now. Ooh, and the Lamborghini didn't look like it was going to make the corner, but it held. Those rear tyres are going to start to be a worry for James very, very soon, though. It's absolutely chewing the left-hand side up. All this means that Ross, who's now got clear air, is gaining, and he's putting in a 2:08.6 pretty much on the medium tyres, so he's not really dropping off. In fact, he's way faster than any of the others after they've been tussling, so we'll keep an eye on Ross. In the meantime, further back, Tom Duval and Panda are battling. Tom struggling a little bit on the hard tyres versus those around him. Blue flag is there as well, Graham is there as well. Unsafe Release doing a decent job in P10. Lennon not far behind him. The guys at the back not really making any progress, and it's Tom right at the back at the minute. Lambo is a tyre muncher, says Feber. Would you rather be a tyre muncher or a battery muncher? I don't know. But the man himself is currently P15. Yes, the BMW perhaps not liking the number of sort of right angle turns that you have to do on this track. It is a horrible track, I can't get on with it. I've said this time and again, and people keep slapping me down saying no, it's great, and I'm just no. Tom's still there chasing down Biggles, who's now P14. Roman 13th. The story with the battery is very, very simple. Tom tried to bite one, see if he could make a dent in it with his teeth. That's all I know. We will try and have him sectioned after the race. Don't worry. Oh, Aaron's pushing it to the absolute limit there. He's got a second gap to Homer. Absolutely flew around that corner. These tyres are falling off for a number of these guys now. They're not going to make it to 8. And these lap times now, mid to high 2:08s, even 2:09s. Oh, what's happened to James? Oh no. James has had a moment. Have we got someone diving into the pits there? We have indeed. Tom Duval in off the hards after 5 laps. same as unsafe release. So these guys are not going to be trying to stretch their fuel, stretch their tyres, and do one less stop. They're going to be going for what I believe would be a 5-stopper. So after the demise of James, who's now down to 6th, Aaron leads by a second from Homer, and then Lee in P3. Yeah, I think Fever is spot on there. We noted earlier how that left rear tyre was going on Jadon's car. Oh, and it's still going. Oh dear. We saw this last week. The Lamborghini, once that tyre starts to get even close to worn, it's just impossible to control, and he's tried to push it for one more lap and it's really not worked out for him. I think he's going to have to seriously consider some different tyres, because he's kicking out and sliding on every single corner. He's now down to P8 and he's lost some 15 seconds to where he was. Right-handers this lap will be a nightmare, and unfortunately they're nearly all right-handers. So that promotes Graham to 7th, Blue Flag to 6th, Panda in 5th, Ross is P4, and he is only 4.6 seconds behind Lee, who, I would say Lee's tyres are probably the best out of the soft runners up front. Yeah, Homer looking distinctly second-hand as well, same as Aaron. Aaron will have more ability to keep going on the worn tyres because it's the front tyre, so he may look to squeeze another lap out of this. Yep, he is going again. Homer is not. Homer is diving into the pits at the end of lap 6. Ross, of course, will keep going. Ross doing very, very well on fuel as well. He should be easily able to push to 9 laps. Aaron's definitely going to be 8 laps max. So Lee and Ross at the minute, I think, are the ones to watch. He's not got the pace of Aaron up front, but yeah, I think he'll be able to go a little bit longer. Tapping a bit further back. Oh, James is in the pits now, fortunately. Although he has dropped all the way down to last place. Oh dear. So Biggles coming out on the mediums. We can only stay with that Mazda for about 3 or 4 seconds before everybody's ears start to hurt. I don't want to add tinnitus to my list of ailments, so I'm going to switch away from Biggles. Both out on the mediums, Fever is calling Ross for the win right now. It's an early prediction. The exit poll states Ross for the win. We will find out. A long way to go yet. But he is gaining on Lee. Will's not a million miles away. 7 seconds back. Followed by Cy and Graham. Derek said he did 9 laps on the soft last night. Fair play. He managed that. If you go for a 4-stopper here, if you can make the fuel last, then yeah, 9 laps, maybe 9 laps on the mediums. A couple of stints on the mediums, 1 on the hards, should be enough to see through, and then 8 laps on the softs. Aaron has pit at the end of lap 7. That's going to make a 4-stop difficult for him. So that promotes Lee to the lead. That gap is coming down all the time though. We said earlier in the stint, if Ross could at least maintain that 6-7 second gap he had, then he'd be in a good position. Was in a far better position because he's not only maintaining, he's brought it down to 2.5. scoreboard lead. See how difficult is it to get this car round this upcoming long right-hander. Left turns will be fine, won't be an issue. Yeah, he's had to take it nice and steady. Still got plenty of power coming out, but you can see the gap drop again by another couple of tenths. And Ross has a clear view of the back of that Jaguar as they come down the back straight. Just 2 seconds to gap now. And these guys will probably... Lee may come in this lap. Ross will probably go for a 9th lap. You would have thought. So Aaron back out in P9 on the softs again. Homer's 10th. These guys comfortably ahead of Tom, Unsafe Biggles, Tom Smith and Jadon at the back. Let's see what Lee does here. He's going to push for a 9th lap. This could see him lose the lead by the end of the stint. Because that gap has come down from, I think it was over 3 seconds at the start of the last lap. And it's now, well, after coming around that corner, it's only 1 second, so keep a keen eye on this as we go through. Panda now P3, both Ross and Panda are redlining on fuel. Lee is slightly better. All of these guys are just going to have to watch their fuel consumption, especially Blue Flag. That really doesn't look like a good position to be in fuel-wise. They are just about going to make it, I'm sure. But a few of the others doing considerably better. I think Pagani's not in a bad position. He's done a longer hard stint compared to all the others who came in after 5 laps on the hard tyres. Pagani's stuck it out, done the 9 laps, and he's also managed to save a decent amount of fuel as well. I was just thinking, could he potentially even do a 10th lap? I don't think so. We're going to head back to the front, because down the back straight, Ross is right on the rear bumper of Lee and pulls out to the right. Has he got the pace to beat that Jaguar down the straight? He's on the inside. They're side by side. Ross is going to get ahead. Gets it stopped for the corner and takes the lead just before these guys come into the pits. It's a really, really good first stint from Ross. Lee is going to try and move back here down the inside. Ross just cuts him off. And now Lee with the ailing tyres. He's managed to soft swell, to be fair. 9 laps. Still got just the tiniest bit that's probably going to be ebb away on this final right-hander. And both of our leaders sweep into the pits. 2 litres of fuel each. Everybody else who hasn't pitted yet will do so now. Panda, Blue Flag, nobody with much fuel. The exception is going to be Pagani, who's now redlining, but he will gain a bit of time here. He's got more fuel than anybody else as he comes in. Really good stint on the hard tyres, but still, I think probably as a result of his starting position on the grid as well. 18 seconds off Ross in the lead. So, Aaron retakes the lead. By a decent chunk from Homer, 3 seconds. And Ross now out of the pits as well. We've got a Let's Go You Tools from from Norrie Norris in the chat. Absolutely. At the minute, it's the Milker car that leads the way. I swear less and less effort goes into these Milker liveries every season. I do think the squabbling up front in the first stint has cost these guys a little bit. Ross is saving all of his soft tyres for the second part of the race because he's out on the hards He'll probably use that to... Him and Lee probably going to try and use that to their advantage now versus the guys behind them. Because you can think that Tom, at least on the soft tyres, will catch them. But then he has got to get past them as well, so if they can hold him up a little bit, that'll work in their favour. The question is, how much of an advantage will Aaron be able to pull out? He's still got the medium tyres to use, he's still got the hard tyres to use, and he probably has an extra pit stop to make versus Ross and Lee. So all of those things don't really stack up in their favour. Good evening, Mikey. So Aaron still leads. Fastest lap of the race. So that's a 2:07.6 from Aaron. There's a 2:09.7 from Homer on the mediums. And a 2... I'm not sure I can trust that time. It says 2:11.3 for Ross, but I'm not certain about that. Lee has already been caught and passed by Tom Duval. Actually, I think that was the outlap for those guys, wasn't it? Yeah. But nonetheless, Tom is already up into P4 and he will now be hunting down Ross. I mean, earlier I talked about... Oh, Tom's very wide there. I talked about them potentially trying to hold Tom up. If I was Ross now, I think, to be honest, let him go. Maybe grab a bit of slipstream and just focus on their own race, because Tom probably not a challenger for these guys, given the tyre difference. Let's compare the top speeds as we come out onto the straight. So we've got Aaron already on the straight, and the Subaru, these guys have all got roughly similar fuel except for Tom, so should be a good comparison of top speed. 162 for Aaron. Homer with the 7-gear Renault doesn't quite hit that. Ross 162, Tom 163, Lee only 160 in the Jaguar. So they're all fairly consistent. Yeah. I don't think any one car has got a massive top speed advantage, certainly. Not on this length of straight. What's Blue Flag doing? Oh. Is that some team orders there, perhaps? Looked like it. I don't think there was any sort of incident. And Pagani on the mediums and Sai on the hards just slowed down there and let Pagani through, so smart bit of teamwork there. Pagani's very much still in this race, having been on the hard tyre stint, and now out on the mediums. Wouldn't count him out. So Lee now well off these two. Ross is still holding up Tom Duval though, so Tom's not been able to get past him yet. Here he comes though. Easily sweeps around the inside. I don't think Ross not putting up too much of a fight there, which, as I said, is probably a sensible course of action. Tom will likely be in the pits in the next lap or two anyway. Ross will just have to see if he can hang on, grab this slipstream over the bridge. Tom's still pulling away slightly despite that. So Ross will do well to stay in the slip for the back straight. Yeah, in fact, he's already dropped down to 8 tenths behind. So that's not going to happen, but Ross still in a pretty good position. 14 seconds off the race lead. Aaron is absolutely flying though. 2:07.6, 2:07.5. And I don't think he's far off that this time either. bit further back. Blue flag sacrificed a bit of time to let his teammate through. Now what that's done is let T Smith onto the back of him. Oh, who did I see pitting? Oh, Tom Doyle in the pits already on lap 12. Could be a 6 stop from Tom at this rate. These guys are all going to go through. Graham and Biggles are together at the minute. Let's just stick back and see if Tom can overtake Blue Flag. Blue Flag on the harder tyres, so you'd expect Tom to get through. That BMW seems to be a real pig though. Actually is. Doesn't look good at all. The price of success. It's a good point, Jonesy. Let's see. Oh, he's going to go for it through the S's. Oh, he dubbed out there. Going nice and wide, looking to get the run out on the bridge. No, it's not going to happen yet. Just being held up at the minute is Tom. Here he goes. To the inside. Yeah, gets the move done that time. So up to P10. Lennon currently running P12, having a fairly quiet race so far, but he's used the harder compounded tyres as well. So we would still expect some of these guys to come back into it. Tom, after his second pit stop, out on the softs again. Is now back down to P13. Ron is P14 and James 7.5 seconds behind on the hard tyres in the 50s. Aaron now leads by 8 seconds. The lap times are now dropping off as the tyres degrade. So Homer is there 8 seconds behind him and Ross is 8 seconds behind Homer. So 16 seconds currently the gap. Got a bit of a fight brewing here between the hard tyre runners. Handler in 4th, Lee in 5th. Unsafe on the mediums, coming up behind them in P6. A bit less fuel. In fact, Lee's got a lot more fuel than both of these guys, so even if he can't get past, he will at least be able to jump them in the pits. Here comes unsafe release. Flash of lights. Lee's indicating. Unsafe's going to pull to the inside. And being teammates, there's not going to be much of a fight here. Unsafe takes P5. Ooh, little clip of the wall on the way out. So it's not going to get close to Will down the straight. He will be able to give Lee a bit of a tow though. Unsafe release will be in this lap. Panda will be in this lap. Lee might carry on a couple of laps longer maybe. So that gap was 8 seconds at the end of the last lap. It's now 8.7. But Aaron will be pitting. Fuel and tyres have run out. Lap 14. It's another 7 lap stint. So Aaron looks to be going for a fairly consistent 7 laps. That will put him on a 5 stop. Homer carries on. Ross, of course, carries on. Where will Aaron come out here? I think he's going to be just behind this group. Most of whom are peeling off into the pits anyway. Panda and Unsafe. Ross carrying on, Lee carrying on. Both out ahead of Aaron. Aaron's filling the tank. He's going to be behind a couple of others here. Biggles goes through it. Now Aaron comes out, and is he gonna beat Pagani to turn 1? It looks like he is. Yep, just out in front of Pagani. So that's that extra stop done for Aaron, which puts him on a roughly similar footing. Pagani only half a tank of fuel. He's right behind him. So Homer inherits the lead, at least for a lap. You would think now this will be Ross's opportunity, if he doesn't pit, just to take the lead for the first time in this race. Just over a third of the way through. Phoebe wants to know, will Aaron go the Zach route? You'll have to explain what the Zach route is to me. Actually, Ross is going to pit here. I don't think the fuel will take him another lap. Homer's in. 9.3 seconds ahead of Ross, who also pits with slightly more fuel. And Lee, a further 10 seconds behind, is going to pit as well, off the hard tyres. Biggles has the race lead. Go on, Biggles. Zach went 4 stints on the softs, then the mediums, then finished on the hards. As I say, Aaron started with 2 stints of softs, but now he's onto the mediums. He may well be keeping soft tyres for a battle at the end, maybe. Beals will have to pit very soon, which means Aaron will inherit the lead of the race. Homer is out in P4, just ahead of Tom Duval. But Tom, who may well be following the Zach route of putting on all the soft tyres first, is now being held up a little bit. Much tighter to the inside though, Homer running a little bit wide. That's going to give Tom a good run. He goes to the outside as Homer goes defensive. Looks like he's made it stick. Has indeed. That's P4 for Tom Duval. Homer's there, Lennon not far behind either. They're on a different part of the strategy to the guys ahead of him. Homer now can just let himself be towed all the way down the straight. Pagani still hanging on to Aaron's coattails. These two more than experienced at running together. I don't think there'll be too much drama here. Biggles comes into the pits. The crowd waving him in from the VIP boxes there. And Aaron takes the lead of the race. Just 0.3 ahead of Pagani. Then comes Tom Duval, then comes Homer, then Lennon, then Blue Flag, then Rom. Panda on a set of fairly fresh softs, looks to have short fuel slightly. Because he's out ahead of Ross. So yeah, looking at the difference there, I know Panda pitted quite a bit earlier. Ross out on fresh softs with a full tank of fuel. But he'll still have to get past Will. which is not a foregone conclusion, especially if they're on the same tyres. So this will be interesting. We'll keep an eye on this. Let's go on board with Ross for a while. Purple through sector 1. Nice smooth line through there, wide into this uphill right-hander. Panda was very, very wide, managed to get it held. And then Ross just closing in slightly. Has to come down, hits the brakes hard, and don't accelerate too early out onto the... These guys now running into traffic ahead of them. Rom is very, very slow coming into that right-hander. Oh, and he's hit the wall as well. Will's going to have to sweep past him. And Ross is coming as well. And this could be a three-way battle coming down here. Is Rom going to hold on the medium tyres, the warm medium tyres? Is he going to hold Ross up? Not really. Ross sweeping around the outside and gets in front. Takes P8. Could have got unlucky there, could have got stuck behind Rom coming into the corner, which would have given Panda a chance to get away, but hasn't happened. Unsafe release still there as well. Not as much fuel as the guys ahead of him, but out on a set of soft tyres and hanging on there. Lee now on the mediums, Big wants to come out on the softs, just kicking up the gravel there as he comes around the right-hander. He's 2 seconds behind Lee, and then Tom Smith is 9 seconds further back, having just... You can just see off Graham here. Oh, James, it was still going so well. Gonna have to do more pit stops in that Lamborghini, I think. Aaron stretched the gap slightly to Pagani. Pagani will be in soon anyway. It'll be the end of this lap, which they've only just started. So that's the end of lap 18 for the pits for Pagani. Which I believe, if I remember rightly, means he's done 2 stints of 9 laps each. So impressive work, but Aaron's already put in an extra stop and is ahead. Tom Duval's still there as well. He's on the extra stop strategy. What was that? Juicy old battle going on here. Ross has found himself ahead of Unsafe Release, ahead of Rom, but behind Blue Flag. If he gets lucky, he's going to be able to get him on the straight. Yeah, he's done that nicely. Well, he already, in fact, he came out very quickly out of that corner. He already looked to pull to the side. Now he's going to have another go. Is that going to give Unsafe Release behind him an excuse to get in the tow and try and get involved in this battle? Ross is on the inside. Oh, Unsafe Release looking... Oh, I thought he was going to try and make it 3 wide for a minute. He's still going to try and get down the inside of Blue Flag. Ross has P7. There's a little bit of contact between Unsafe and Blue Flag. Blue Flag now at the inside. Ross is still there as well. These 3 battling away. And eventually it is Ross, then Unsafe Release, and then Blue Flag. And Rom is having a look at now as well as Blue Flag is tumbling down the order. On the hard tyres, struggling to keep up. Rom has to peel off into the pits anyway. We've just seen Pagani pit too. So Pagani's into the pits, Len is into the pits, Rom is into the pits. Aaron is going round again, still has the lead, still has plenty of fuel, plenty of tyres, and a 9-second gap back to Tom Duval. Still a lot of work for Ross to do. There's a long way to go, but he is 18 seconds off the lead. So still lots to do, and he's doing it because he's just gone purple through sector 1. That battle hurt him a little bit on my last lap at 2:09.3. Let's see what he can do now. Aaron's picked up the pace on the mediums. Last lap or two. Dropping it back into the 208s. No real battles coming down the straight. I'm going to come back to Aaron in a minute and see what that next lap time is. See if he's able to maintain that. So that could give him a big advantage. Tom looks to have made his way ahead of Graham now. Len's got himself a penalty. I'm not sure where you get that here. Then Ron, then blue flag, and then Jadon. So here comes Aaron. Is he able to maintain that pace of 208 on the mediums? Not quite. It said low 209. That's still very, very impressive. Tom Dwell in the pits once more. Lap 19. That means Homer takes P2. And Will currently in third. Ross not too far behind though, and starting to pick up the pace now. He's got some clear air. 208.2. Fastest lap of the race so far though, 207.5. So can Ross find a little bit more now? Once again, purple through sector 1. Oh, Graham's got back ahead of Tom. Missed that, but a nice little battle going on here. Both on the soft tyres. Tom Duval's finally switched to the medium, so he's got off the soft tyres for the first time in this race. And now looking to hunt down his teammate. Oh, what's happened to the blue flag? Did he hit the wall? I think he might have hit the wall on the entry to the bridge. He was going very, very slowly. And Jadon's come past to take P14. Aaron is now 12.8 seconds clear. Once again, those lap times just starting to drop off slightly, but still pretty consistent. 209.5, but Homer is putting in a decent lap here. And that is a 209 flat. So Aaron's actually used the advantage, build the gap. He's got less fuel than Homer and Ross behind him. And Ross in particular, remember, no longer has to use anything except soft tyres. Whereas Aaron has now been on the mediums but still has a stint on the hard tyres to go. We are only, in fact we're not even halfway through this race yet. But whereas the first half of this race was more about watching the initial strategies play out, seeing who can get some clean air, seeing who can put in the lap times. The second half is, for most of these guys now, is probably going to be more about pure pace. And these guys behind still have a lot to do. Panda is absolutely going to be in this lap. Ross is not. He's going to carry on a fair bit longer. Unsafe release will also be pitting. Homer will not be pitting. So, So as we come up to the halfway point, get your predictions in the chat. Who do we think is going to take this victory? I don't think it's as clear cut as perhaps it looked earlier, but we will see. Ross coming up very fast on Panda now. He may or may not know that Will has to pit at the end of this lap. Ooh, there's a bit of a slide on the exit there. He's okay. Not really seen any spins, accidents, anything so far, he says, hopefully. Missed a couple, obviously. I think blue flag hit the wall, and then a couple of near misses. But apart from that, everybody driving very consistently. As Will comes into the pits, I think he's just run out of fuel on the line. Yep. And unsafe release in as well, not too far behind him, just over 4 seconds behind him, with a little bit more fuel. Let's see where these guys come out. It's going to be pretty close to this gaggle coming around the corner here. Look out for Tom Duval. Panda's got the edge on fuel. He is going to be out behind though, I think. Yep, Tom sweeps through. Well, out just behind. That may not benefit him. He's come out on the soft tyres, but he's got a lot of cars in front of him, all on varying strategies that he's now going to have to try and get past. That might hold him up a little bit. He's going for a very, very early move into turn 2 on Tom Duval. Now they're going to be side by side coming down the S's. This is going to be very, very tricky. Tom sneaks back in front. Will's going to have to back out. Will he try and get the good exit? Yeah, Tom's a little bit wide, pushing it hard. Panda's still there. Will he make the move here, or will he wait for the back straight? I think he's going to play it safe. Which makes sense. These guys in front on the soft tyres as well, but all fairly warm, so you'd imagine if Panda can get past Tom Duval here, he should be able to start hunting them down. He does indeed cut to the inside, and this should be a fairly routine move. As we see the race leader pits. Oh, Tom and the Mazda fighting back. Panda sticks neatly to the inside line. Doesn't allow the switch back. Gets the greater grip out of the corner, and that is move done. So Aaron is into the pits on lap 22. He's going to have a lot of nice clean air here. He's come out a couple of seconds behind Biggles, who's also on the soft tyres, and Pagani. So Pagani has got himself ahead of Aaron, but Aaron out on completely fresh, hard tyres. And, crucially, only 3/4 of a tank of fuel, so see this being a very short, hard tyre stint for Aaron, and then soft all the way to the end. So this is where the time difference will come down. That's got to be an absolute maximum of 6 laps on the hard tyres with that amount of fuel. He has got clean air to do it in though. I think that is important, especially with the hard tyres. The softs, if you have to battle a bit, yes, it costs you a bit of tyre wear, but you know, you can at least challenge. If you're on the hard tyres and you've got people coming past you, it's going to be tricky. Oh, Fever thinks that'll get him 7 laps. Oh, I don't know, Fever. Not with Aaron's fuel consumption. We'll see. His nearest challenger is Lee, who is 5 seconds back, but on worn mediums and pitting in the next 2 laps. So Fever's broken out the numbers. I guarantee you know more than me, Fever. I absolutely guarantee it. I will take your steer on that. We'll see if Aaron gets 7 laps. That will take him to, well, did he start on lap 23? So that'll take him to lap 29 if he manages 7 laps, which will leave him just, well, takes him to the end of lap 29, then he's got 13 laps left to do. Seems like yeah, fair enough. Well, it all remains to be seen. Meanwhile, Ross in the lead, 10.8 seconds from Homer. Comes around start lap 24. He will be in relatively soon, in fact at the end of this lap. So Ross is keeping it pretty consistent. He's just going to do 8 laps, 8 laps, 8 laps, and then he'll be done. So of course when Ross does pit, comes back out, that will be it then, at least between him and Aaron, that will be it for tyres. So Aaron currently on the hards, but that will be the only stint he has to do. After that, both he and Ross will be soft tyres to the end. So when Ross comes out of the pits here, and he is currently 21 seconds ahead of Aaron, these next 5, 6, maybe 7 laps will be the window he has to try and hunt Aaron down. All of these guys not out of the picture yet. A mistake or some battling for Ross could see things change. I wouldn't write Pagani out of this yet either. I think he's used the hards and mediums as well. He's got another lap left on these soft tyres. Only 13 seconds off the lead. It's a big ask. You never know. Behind him, Biggles doing a good job as well. We'll see Ross come into the pits in a second. Just going to cut back and see what's happening here. Everybody sort of spaced out by a second or two. We've currently got Graham in P8, just about to come into the pits. Panda, half a tank in P9. Tom Smith on Scotch Fuel in 10th. And Tom Duval behind him. Unsafe release in 12th. Rom in 13th. And then Si's got back ahead of James to take P14. Ross is in the pits, Homer is in the pits, Pagani is in the pits. Biggles once again on a slightly offset strategy from the others inherits the race lead. And through goes Aaron. Ross is still filling the tank all the way to the brim. Out he comes on another set of soft tyres. He's got people going ahead of him. That could prove problematic. And here comes Tom Duval. Oh, and it's very, very close. Tom's on the medium tyres. Ross is going to have to look to get straight past him here. Once this all settles out, we'll see where he's ended up. If he's lucky, he's not behind unsafe release as well. Can Ross find a way through? It's tricky here. He may have to wait for the bridge. Oh, look at unsafe. Look at that Lamborghini unsafe release in the mirrors. Looking very, very dangerous. Ross is sticking to the inside. Where is unsafe release? I can hear tyres squealing. He's still in the rear view camera, in the side mirrors. Ross has stayed ahead. There's a bit of a wiggle on the exit from Tom Duval. He's not quite going to make it up through the bridge though. Look how close he is. Let's see how Tom handles this corner. Tyres are still pretty good. Just lifts off the throttle, tries to get back on as soon as possible. Oh, Ross has got a decent exit though. He's not gaining a lot. That Mazda is quick through the middle gears. And still Ross cannot yet make the move. He's looking around the outside. Tom Duval's gone defensive. It's not yet gonna happen, or is it? Still he holds on. Ross is trying everything to get past. He's gonna have to switch to the outside, but then he's gonna have the inside for the next corner. He's trying to hold it in. Still got the inside. He's got it done. What a move from Ross. Absolutely fantastic. Biggles into the pits from the race lead. Aaron is back into P1. And after all that, I don't think it cost that much time, to be fair. And Ross is 11.8 seconds off Aaron in the lead. Aaron has to do 3 to 4 more laps, probably 3 laps on those hard tyres. I wouldn't do another lap. I wouldn't do a lap more if I was him. If he can do 3 laps, get to the end of lap 28, then he's got 14 laps to do, and that's 7 laps a stint. Oof. He's going to have to make the softs last a bit longer than he has been doing. We've seen some brilliant side-by-side racing tonight. Lennon is P2, sorry. Very low on fuel considering how close he is to the start of the lap. Tyres not looking great either. Panda is right behind him. And only 7 seconds off Aaron now. Has Panda used the mediums and hards? I'm not 100%. I'm not sure it's happened with Ross. I know Ross has. I'm not sure if Panda has or not. He's definitely used at least one of those. So Ross is away from Tom Duval, and not only that, he's ahead of unsafe release as well. So he's free. Lennon's going to be out the way soon. Panda has just got past him. He's going to be there for a few more laps. But apart from that, yeah, I think you're right, Fever. Will did start on the mediums. Has he used the hard tyres? I think he has. And if he has, he's in a very good position himself. Ross, however, has a lot more fuel. I think Will's strategy is yeah, he's going to have one more stop to do. Yeah, Will is going to have an extra stop to do versus Ross. Ross, I think, is down to one more pit stop. Lennon wants to know how he's doing. Although he's asked Fever, he's not asked me, so I'll leave it to Fever to tell him. 5 seconds is the gap. Aaron's doing a good job on the hard tyres. He's going to have one more lap on them after this. But low 210 on the last lap is exactly what he needs. It is coming down though. Will on the soft tyres is going to be very, very close to him by the time they both have to pit. And then Ross is 4 seconds further back, but he has more fuel, better tyres, more time. And now that it's all starting to shake out, I think if he times this all correctly, he has one fewer pit stop as well. So it does look to all be playing into Ross's hands. Oh, Pagani. Oh, and Tom. And Tom Duval as well. Tom Duval's about to come into the pits. He nearly lost it on the outside. Pagani just clipping the wall as well. It's Tom Duval into the pits. That will promote Biggles back to P6. I was thinking Homer dropped off a little, and that's his on the hard tyres now. We're still 7 seconds clear of the lead. Lennon in P9, Graham 10th, T. Smith 11th. What's really interesting, and I think is going to play very, very well this season, in fact, some of these guys that did pretty well during the sprint week, not necessarily the ones scoring big in the endurance. So the top 4 from last week, in fact the top 5, Pagani, Panda, T. Smith, Lennon, and Blue Flag. And they are currently running P5, P2, P11, and P13. Oh, and Lennon in 9th. So, it's all going to switch around a little bit. Aaron did not have a good sprint rig at all. He's currently 13th in the table on 13 points, but he's on for a very, very good result here. And the same for Ross, who's sort of sitting in the middle of the table at the minute on 25 points, compared to Pagani's 38. So, really interesting to point that. Aaron's in. Panda is in. Ross takes the race lead. Pagani carries on and is really not that far behind him. Oops, where's he gone? There he is. 3 seconds. And setting 2:07s compared to Ross's 2:08s. Well, I don't think we formally wrote Pagani off, but he wasn't. We weren't considering him in the conversation before now. He does have less fuel than Ross, but I can tell you what, depends if he's got his strategy right. We saw him go 9 lap stints before. If that's what he's going for, then he has got it right. But he's going to have to do a 9 lap stint on the soft tyres. I think you might be right actually, Faber. What is it, lap 29? Yeah. I don't think he's quite got it right. He's only going to get 1 more lap after this, isn't he? Yeah. So Pagani's going to have to stop twice more, that means. That's a shame if he just managed to eke out a couple more laps. He could have gone for it. Biggles doing a really good job. Really consistent. Look at those lap times. In fact, yeah, 208.1, 208.2, 208.2, 208.2. Then a 209, but now back in the 208s after his pit stop. Really nice, consistent. He'll be on for a really good sort of higher mid-table finish here. So Aaron on the fresh softs now has to find a way past Homer. He's flashing the lights at him. Not sure how much good that'll do. he's gonna try it anyway. Oh, looks for the late move to the inside. Hits the brakes hard, and that is a really good move. Job done. Aaron into P4. But 26 seconds behind Ross. That extra pit stop for all of these guys is going to kill it. Could Panda be on for a P2? Depends if Lee and Lennon absolutely molest him at turn 1. Let's see. Here they come. Oh, Panda. He's pushed wide. He's still there. Here comes Lennon. He's looking to the outside. Oh no. Panda's on for a P2 here, but he's getting... Oh, he's the star of an Only Man threesome. He's been pushed down to P8. Is there anything he can do about it? Oh, Lennon's clipped the curb. They're all a bit ragged. Oh, he's in the wall. Oh, that was brutal. Please pay your subscription money now. You won't see that anywhere else. Will's going to have to go again. This is going to be costing him though. This is going to be hurting. And in the meantime, Aaron has a clear track. Biggles still there in P3. He'll only have 1 more stop as well. Biggles is really playing himself in contention. Like says they charge extra for that content. Yeah, Ross only has a 3-second gap to Pagani, but Pagani is going to be coming to the pits right now. So unless he can do a 12-lap stint, which is pretty much impossible. Where's Pagani going to come out then? Let's see. Oh, hello. The battle continues. Pagani slots in behind these guys, and Will is once again fully engaged in this battle with Lennon. Lee just ahead of him. And Homer on the hard tyres is going to become a major factor in this very, very soon. This could get very, very ugly. Homer on the hard tyres leads Lee, Lennon, Panda, and now Pagani all on the softs. We are going to be sticking with this for a while, I think. Homer's struggling to get the car around that corner, whereas Lee has flown out of it, and he's half second behind him now. Lennon and Will still going at it behind him, and then Pagani is there now as well. So this is a 5-way battle for 4th place at the minute. Lennon's the one to go defensive, protecting his position and also protecting his teammate as well. Will is absolutely desperate to find a way through. Oh, we've lost Ron from the room. I don't know what's happened there. We also lost James a while ago as well. Not sure what happened there. Oh my word. Help! Oh, Homer's sliding all over the place. Lennon's there as well. Lee's been shuffled down to 6. Panda is on the outside. Here comes Pagani as well. They are absolutely everywhere. Oh, this is ridiculous. Lee just about holds on, kicks up the dirt. Panda's been slung to the outside of the track. Pagani now nips through and takes P6. Oh, Ron's internet's crashed. Bad luck, mate. Ah, that's rubbish. Lennon, out of all that, has taken P4 from Homer, who is now about to get probably... I mean, there's no way Homer can hold on the hard tyres. It's only a matter of time before it gets done by all of these guys. Pagani is next up. Next in line. And that's a comfortable overtake for Pagani. Into P5 he goes. He doesn't want to let Lennon get away. All of these guys are only going to have to make one stop more. But the fuel differences and the tyre differences are pretty extreme. There's a lot of different strategies happening as Will looks to make the move on the inside of Lee into the right-hander. And he backed out just at the last minute. Does everybody make the corner just about? On Will as well again. He's really, really suffering during this stint. Just not able to get past anybody, and every time there's been an argument, he's just been shuffled to the back of that pack. And now the guys behind him are not that far away either. We haven't seen what's been going on with Ross for a while. What's going on is he is probably going to be coming in on the next lap. He's going to have just enough field to get round. So he's got that one more pit stop to take, but he looks now to have got it sewn up because everybody else is going to have to do another stop as well, and Ross now has a 15-second advantage. Can't argue with the strategy. Can't argue with the lap times, to be fair. All 208s in this stint for Ross, and that's all he needs. He's been able to maintain that pace despite doing one stop fewer than most of the other drivers. So Biggles currently P2 and Aaron currently P3. We're saying Biggles may be on for a sneaky podium. It looks, at the minute, his tyres are a little worse for wear, his fuel is a little bit less, but he's got a 10-second lead over Aaron. This could easily be a P2 for Biggles. And if so, that's an absolutely astounding result. But here's where the action is. Pagani is now P4. Lennon, there's a bit of a bump on the rear there. These two have made a little bit of a break from it, from the pack of 3, which is currently headed by Lee, but that could all change as they come down to the turn onto the bridge. Through the S as they come, Panda is again battling. He's finally overtaken Homer. He's managed to hold on for the best part of 2 laps before being shuffled to the back of that pack. Oh, and Lee, I thought he was heading for the bridge. He's okay. Willie's there as well. So, deep breath. After all that, it's Pagani P4 with a fuel and tyre advantage. Lennon is P5, he's going to have to do a long final stint. Lee is going to have to do an even longer final stint. He is currently P6, but he's going to have 9 laps to do when he comes in at the end of this lap. He is followed by Will and then Homer. So I think when this all, Graham is coming up for a pit stop soon as well. Unsafe release is doing pretty well except for that penalty. Ross is in. This will be his final stop of the night, and then he'll have one more 9 lap run to do on the soft size. At this point, do you just put the mediums on and take it easy? I doubt it. His only concern, Ross, is that he's got to come out right in the middle of this pack of cars. He's got to fill all the way to the top. They're all just going past him now. He's got to come out somewhere in the vicinity of unsafe release, I think. And in fact, he's done alright with everybody else pitting. He's done alright. He's 2 seconds behind Lennon, and crucially for him, ahead of Panda, who's got the fuel in the tank to give him a few more laps. So Biggles has the race lead, plus a half-second penalty. He is probably coming in at the end of this lap. Aaron behind him has enough fuel to go for one more. So he's going to need to use that advantage and use the pace that he's clearly shown that he's got if he's got any hope of catching Biggles for P2. Excuse me. Pagani's in third, more fuel and better tyres than Aaron, and 6 seconds back, so Aaron might yet be looking over his shoulder for the podium. Lennon is fourth. Ross is fifth, having made his stop. And then LP6, unsafe in 7th. Then we have Tom Duval, blue flag. Lee in 10th, Homer is 11th, Graham is in P12, and T. Smith bringing up the rear of the grid after the 2 exits from Jadon and the unfortunate Rom. Here comes Biggles in for his stop. You would suspect Aaron will be going for one more lap, as indeed he does, which means he'll have less fuel to put in during his stop, but that won't make up the gap to Biggles. He's going to have to do it on the track, and he's going to have to do a damn good job as well. Everybody else going through, but of course all of these guys except Ross are going to have to make another pit stop. Lennon in as well. Biggles is out of the pits. The Mazda lawnmower whirring away down to C1. Yep, Phoebe's right. Aaron's going to gain about 2 seconds in the pits, which means that gap is still going to be 6, 7, maybe 8 seconds to Biggles. So it's a big ask. Lennon's out, ahead of Lee. Both of these guys fueled to the end now. Homer the same, but Homer has come out on the medium tyres, so he still had them to use. So it's just drifted away for Homer. He was right up at the front early doors, but he had the soft tyres on early. He's had to go with the harder compounds later on, and it has cost him to the tune that he's probably going to be overtaken by Graham as well. So Aaron's slowed down, whereas Pagani is sped up. Aaron's last lap a 2:09.0, Pagani a 2:08.0, so he gained a full second. And he's got the additional fuel. I think he's going to be able to challenge Aaron here for P3, what will be a net P3 when it all shakes out. Ross is 10 seconds off the lead, but ahead of the other guys, and will inherit the race lead in a couple of laps' time. Aaron, we will see pit right now. I think the Aaron Pagani battle is going to be the one to watch for the podium. Pagani carries on through, 5 seconds behind. Here comes Ross as well, and then Panda into the pits. Unsafe release will follow him in him. He's had a good race, Unsafe. He's been there the whole time. And then Tom Duval, the man of the many pit stops, he's in as well for his final one. Biggles retakes the podium position. See if Lee can overtake any of these guys who are in the pits currently. It's definitely going to get Tom Duval. Will he get unsafe release? Let's see if we can see if we can spot unsafe coming out. There's Panda. And there's unsafe release. So it's an only man threesome. Once again. There's no stopping them. Lee is in P6. Unsafe release P7 and Lennon P8. That's a good team finish, I think. They maintain that. Everybody has pit now for the final time except for Pagani. You imagine he'll be in this time because, well, he's got very little fuel left, and also it'll only be a 6-lap run to the flag. So that'll be absolutely key. Biggles is 20 seconds back. That will see him through. And then it's a question of Aaron, 30 seconds behind Pagani. Will a further 8 seconds back. Lee only 2.5 behind Will, so Lee's sort of crept into this battle here. If he can put in a few good laps, he may be able to challenge Panda, who looked at one point like he was on for a good podium, but it's sort of fallen away from him a little bit in the second half of the race. This is what we need to look at now. Here comes Pagani into the pits, and we're going to focus on Aaron. Round the S as he comes. Cutting the curve nicely there. Ooh, doesn't quite make the left hand, has to let off the throttle. And then round the final corner, Pagani is fueling up. He's not far away. He doesn't have to put a lot of fuel in. I think Pagani's going to get out ahead here. Oh, it's very, very close. Here he comes. Oh, he's getting up to speed. I think he's ahead. He is just ahead. So Pagani takes P3 from Aaron, but Aaron's still got the speed through turn 1. Is he going to be able to make the move? The Ferrari now up to pace, but the tyres are still cold. Pagani goes defensive. Aaron looks to the outside and tries to go all the way around the outside. They're still side by side. Oh boy, here we go. Pagani's got ahead. Ooh. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic to see this again. It's been too long. But it is Pagani who holds on to third place. Will is in P5, 8 seconds back. So now it's all shaking itself out. Ross has played an absolute blinder. He's 16 seconds clear. And right, God, how about a word for Biggles as well? Comfortable in P2. There's been some brilliant drives here today. Then we've got the battle for third, which will bubble away, I think, until we reach the last couple of laps now. Lee in 6th, Lennon in 7th, unsafe release, another penalty. Where's he getting these penalties? Well, that penalty's going to drop him back into the clutch of Graham and Homer, although Homer's on the medium tyres. Tom Duvall, after all his pit stops, has filtered back out into P11, just ahead of his teammate Tom in 12th. And sort of got a bit wrong for blue flag, unfortunately. He is in P13. So this is the question: can Aaron stick with Pagani? I would say Pagani's been more consistent on pace, but Aaron has got it in there. He has got it in the locker. He did have the fastest lap of the race until Will put in a 2:07.4 on his last lap. So he'll be hoping that these two really battle it, but I think they're probably too sensible for that. If Aaron does manage to stay with Pagani, then... Oh, Pagani! He's off! He was almost in the wall, he was definitely off onto the grass, and Aaron is going to take P3. This will be exactly what Panda is hoping for. Yes, everyone's right. I forgot about turn 1 for penalties. Spot on. I get a penalty nearly every time I go around turn 1 on this track. So there we've seen a twitch from Pagani. It's not cost him as much as it might have. He was almost in the wall. But he does now find himself as the one who has to make the move rather than the one who has to defend it. Panda will be looking at this thinking, maybe he'll have seen that gap come down a little bit, but he's going to need some serious shenanigans. Oh, Derek says the football is 0-0 into extra time. Classic Portugal. Pagani's dropped off here. Aaron set at 2:07.7. There's that pace. Pagani is over a second behind. If Aaron can keep this up, that may be the break he needed. Still 4 laps to go though. Pagani's tyres are in a lot better shape, it should be noted. Lee still holding station. Decent lap times. Lennon going slightly quicker. Is he 2 seconds back? So that could be one to watch. And safe release behind in P8. Graham in 9th, Homer in 10th, Tom Duval, Tom Smith, and blue flag. And Ross now 17 seconds in the lead. Oh, Aaron's pulled out a massive lead. 2.5 seconds now. Pagani really struggling to get up to the bridge. That could be it. Oh, Pagani clipping the wall on the way out as well. The time increases. That gap to Will down to 5 seconds now. Will's absolutely flying. Only 2/10 off his best time of 2:07.4. That gap was 7 seconds, now down to 5. Pagani just needs to get his head back in the game a little bit here. P3 is probably gone, but he wants to make sure he keeps P4. Oh, he's really pushing. Really pushing hard now. But looks like God, he's managed to stabilise at least. The gap to Aaron's not coming down, but the gap to Panda isn't coming down either, so I think he's okay. Who's your driver of the day then? Well, get it in the chat. Who do we think? I mean, probably two or three obvious contenders. But who's the most surprising? Who's impressed you the most? Unsafe release is not done yet with Lennon. Little bit of chat going on about oil wear. Oh, yeah. Just the stupidest, most painful mechanism in a game ever. 100% pointless. I can't be doing with it. Yeah, a lot of it's with Biggles in as driver of the day, and I think I agree. Ross suffering a little from a victim of his own success, I think. You know he can do this. Especially in a long race, you know he can just blitz the field. He's done a fantastic job, but really can't argue with his performance for Biggles. Comfortable as well in P2. Pagani is not done. He is not done yet. The gap is back down to a second. Where has he found that pace from? Aaron's doing 208.6. Pagani's on a 207.3. How the hell does he pull this out of the bag every time? I just... He's so good at doing this. And now all of a sudden, there'll be a little bit of poo in Aaron's underwear. Because that gap was 2.5 seconds and blinked. We've all taken our eyes off it for a second. Talked about driver of the day, talked about oil, and now he's back in slipstream range. Aaron's tyres are dying, and he's still got a lap and a half to do. This is not over. Meanwhile, unsafe release fancies himself for P7. Lennon's tyres are going as well. That gap is about where you'd expect it to be until probably the final few corners. Aaron's tyres are going off. They will make it to the end without going 100% more on that front left, but Pagani's just so much better. And now as they come around to start the final lap of the race, the gap is half a second, as is the gap between Lennon and Unsafe. Here we go. Lap 42 of 42 for these drivers. Some very low fuel level for Lennon there, just starting the final lap. Wonder if that'll come into it. Tyres are nearly shot as well. Here comes unsafe release. Is he going to make the move? He looks to the inside, just shows the nose and ducks back in. We're going to have to cut between these two battles. Aaron out onto the bridge, still holding a half-second advantage. We're going to go back to Lennon, unsafe release. Around the S's they come. Here comes unsafe. Keeps it nice and tight to the corner. He's really looking wide, looking to get a good exit. Lennon's slightly in the way though, and pulls out ahead. Now Pagani has the run, 0.3 of a second. He's in the slipstream. The gap starts to come down immediately. It's not coming down very quickly, but it is coming down. Under 0.3. Quarter of a second as they come round the right hand kink. Is he going to make the move? Not just yet. We're on the final lap. Ross is coming round for the race win. Round the final corner he comes, absolutely dominant, strategized perfectly. Ross takes P1 with 18 seconds from Biggles, whose gap is dropping to Aaron, but he's going to be holding on for P2. And now it is Aaron v Pagani for the final step of the podium. Classic FTRL. Pagani's got the inside line, Aaron pushing it right to the edge. Is Pagani going to make a move on the final corner? I don't think he's quite going to make it. He's going to stick to the outside. Has Aaron got the tyres to hold on? He is going to hold on. Biggles takes P2. Aaron, the final step of the podium. 0.2 ahead of Pagani in P4. Panda in P5. And then is Nicole and Lennon looks to have fought off unsafe release to hold on to 7th place. Oh, he's let him through. Does he let him through? Why is he let him through? Who knows? It's Lennon. Graham, oh, that's very close. Didn't see that coming. Both of them absolutely zero fuel. Graham P9, just half second ahead of Tom Duval. Homer will come home in P11, ahead of T Smith in 12th, and Blue Flag following home fairly close in P13 as well. Only a minute between all of the drivers after 42 laps. Wow. Whew. Quite a few people, I think, ran out of fuel on the line there. Oh, Lennon ran out of fuel. I was wondering why he'd let him through. Did say at the start of that final lap that your fuel was looking a little bit low, Lennon. Oh no. Unable to save the replay. Oh, there we go. Wow. Whew. I hope you all enjoyed that. Final standings. Ross comfortably P1 from Biggles. Aaron in P3, rounding off the podium just ahead of Pagani, who got the fastest lap of the race in the end with a 2:07.3. Then Panda, Lee Cole, unsafe release, pipping Lennon after he ran out of fuel on the line. Graham, Tom Duval, Homer, T Smith, Blue Flag, Rom, and Jadon with the DNFs at the end. Right. I need to go to bed. But we'll be back again same time next week, Thursday and Friday. Where are we next week? Let's find out. Ooh, Daytona. So that's going to be one sprint race and a shorter endurance race. So 13 lap sprint followed by 29 lap endurance at Daytona. Please do join us then. Thursdays, 8:30. Oh, it's a mixed week, is it? In this? No, yeah, mixed week, of course it is. Yeah, sprint and endurance. So please do join us then. Thursday 8:30 for GT2, Friday 8:30 for GT1. See you then. Bye bye.